Hello and welcome to Founders Amplified, where we spotlight underrepresented founders who are driving innovation and impact across various industries and sectors across the globe. I'm your host, Narayan Kulkarni, and I'm excited to be here with you today. Today's guest is Tolulope Abikoye. Tolulope, or Tolu for short, is the founder and CEO of Connecting Hands Limited, a visionary enterprise dedicated to driving innovation in underserved sectors. Originally from Lagos, Nigeria, and now based in the United Kingdom, Tolu identifies as an African entrepreneur and is a passionate advocate for business empowerment and women's health. She holds a degree in accounting and an MSc in international business from Robert Gordon University, equipping her with a strong foundation in both customer acquisition and global market dynamics. With over a decade of experience in fintech innovation and enterprise development, Tolu has consistently demonstrated her ability to create impactful solutions that address real-world challenges. One of her groundbreaking ventures, Joyd, is revolutionizing maternal health care through the power of AI, gamification, and nutrition. Joyd offers the first of its kind digital health app designed to intervene in postpartum depression, providing tailored support to women during their maternal healthcare journey. The platform combines cutting-edge technology with evidence-based interventions to empower mothers, enhance mental well-being, and foster healthier families. Recently, Joyd secured funding to further develop this transformative platform, and Tolu is collaborating with a leading university to deepen research into its efficacy and scalability. This initiative underscores her commitment to leveraging technology for social good and addressing critical gaps in healthcare accessibility and outcomes. So, now that you know a little bit about Tolu, let's dive into the conversation. Welcome to Founders Amplified, Tolu. Great to have you with us. How are you today?
I'm good, Nara, and how are you as well?
I'm also doing great. Thanks again for being here. And let's kick things off. So first of all, I'd love to hear a little bit more about your journey. Can you tell me more about what led you to become a founder, and if there was any moment or experience that sparked that decision?
Thank you for that question. So for me, being a founder is deeply personal. It's from an experience and shared experience of people around me. I went through a phase that hit deeply, and it caused me to pause and think like if I would want anyone to go through that same phase, and if there's anything I can do to make it better, right? So I had support, but still, regardless of the support, I felt like there was a need for something extra. Again, having since checked and spoken to several other mothers that had similar type of issue, I understood that, okay, I needed to build something. So it was based off of a personal experience and shared experience of people around me that made me realize that there's a gap in maternal mental health, and this inspired the creation of Joyd, which is a solution designed to support mothers as they go through that phase of postnatal care in their journey of childbirth and growing in the future.
Wow, thanks for sharing. So I also really appreciate hearing that it sounds like it was both a personal experience, but also the experiences of people that were around you that inspired the creation of Connecting Hands and the Joyd app. But could you tell me a little bit more about any particular facets of your identity, your story, your perspective that you think give you that unique edge and that unique perspective that makes Joyd app really special?
All right, thank you so much. So I have worked for over almost 15 years right now in revenue generation and business growth. So I provide consulting services in that regard. I worked with unicorns and multinational companies around Europe, Middle East, and Africa. I have that experience to be able to bring my knowledge in technology, using technology for good, using technology to simplify processes into being. So that's very unique about me. However, I'm also a mother of three. I'm an African, and because of this experience that I have, it has helped me with scaling business, understanding what it is to go to market, understanding product market fit. I have lived experience, which I mentioned before, that gives an authentic understanding of what the pain point is that I am addressing with this app. That intersection with what my background is, what I'm currently doing, my live and shared experience adds a personal insight into what I am building. So I'm not just building it because I feel like I should. I'm building it because I know that is a mission to sustain maternal mental health. And it also addressing a problem that is often underserved and underlooked. And it's also providing an answer in a very creative way while staying grounded on what the root cause is and addressing real world issues.
Wow, I appreciate hearing that you both have the technical and business expertise as well as the lived experience, which it sounds like you're fusing together to really make Joyd app a very unique problem, like a unique solution to a really important problem. But I wanted to, with the next question I had, really focus a little bit more on the problem. Now, I see this as someone who has lived in the US, has worked in US healthcare, and knows that there is a big issue with maternal health, and which disproportionately affects women of color, specifically women who are African American and of African descent
Mhm.
in the US. But I'm curious if you could share a little bit more about, in your angle, what are some of the root causes that you see that are underserved, and how is Connecting Hands and Joyd app specifically addressing those?
Okay, thank you for that question. So one of the root causes of this is culture, right? Culture plays a very important and critical role in the way we see things, in the way we perceive things, in the way we respond to things, because it's a foundation, right, based upon of our upbringing. However, what Joyd app is doing is, even though there are several support systems out there that addresses postnatal depression, which is the challenge that we're solving, or I mean, supports maternal mental health. However, there's lack of culture interventions in all of this. And what we're doing is, I mean, having spoken to several mothers from different cadre of life, from different stage in their journey. So whether it's a first time mom or multiple time mothers, we have spoken to them and we understand how much culture is relevant in addressing or speaking to a pain, right? A lot of people might want you to they might want to eat their own cultural food, right? Because they just gave birth and all of that, or they want to be treated in certain ways that their culture perceives that they should be treated. Again, bringing all of that neat bit, fine detail into the app is what we are doing to make sure that, yes, the mother feels supported. They feel like it's personalized because, I mean, I'm not in my country right now, but I'm in my place of origin. But if I have a bit of that in an app, it gets me connected. I have that sense of reassurance that I'm being supported. It's personalized to suit my mood. It's personalized to address what pain is to me, because pain also can be perceptive, right? If, for instance, having spoken to a mother and she said they did not understand her pain because there's a perception about how pain is perceived based on where you're from. So all of these problems, all of these highlights that we've gotten from interacting with several mothers is what we're addressing and putting it into the app so that it is holistic, it is personalized, and it is tailored to suit whoever the user is.
I see. Very cool. And on the point of personalization, could you tell me more about the unique way in which your app and your work personalizes to the mother that's using it?
Okay, thank
And
you.
more
So
broadly, what are some unique and innovative ways that you're addressing the issue of postnatal depression in using technology that maybe others may not be seeing in the same way?
Okay, thank you so much. For us at George, I'm very excited. I get very excited when I'm talking about this. But what we're doing is to combine AI, gamification, and nutrition into one platform. So that's like three, like a bundle in one, and layering it with cultural perspective. Again, what is good for several cultures might not be good again, but that's in perception. So there's a fun onboarding process that happens when you're getting on to use the app, right? However, there's AI in place that allows us to use sentiment analysis to be able to understand the mood of the user. And based off of that, we would give the user what is coming in the user's view is what is suited to that user. So user A might see something slightly different from user B. And that's because the algorithm at the back end, right, has been able to understand what is needed at the point in time that the user is interacting with the app. Another unique feature is games, right? Gamification has been seen, according to research, to increase users' resilience to reaffirm identity and to show warnings in such a very unique and special way. Nutrition, like we know, is critical. We just had a webinar last week that emphasized the role that nutrition plays with your mind. They are so interconnected. So bringing all of these together, the sentiment analysis using AI, gamification, nutrition, and topping it up with a cultural perspective, we are set to integrate something that sets apart and leads to the way of healing and reassurance for the mother that one, she is enough, two, she can do it, three, she has support. There are several other mothers that will be on the community that would help in that journey of motherhood. The interactive games would allow people to play with each other, and it would give, I mean, uplifting content, right? Again, one of the things that we found is that education and plays a very vital role in helping mothers or the users through their journey. That would also be provided in the app in a very fun yet direct and simple way. Again, we're putting it's like a combo in one, just making it sure that the users feel supported, they feel empowered, and the magic in the journey of motherhood is very, very smooth.
Very cool. Now, there are two words that you shared, which I would love to hear a little bit more about. One is, well, two words, culturally competent. The other one is personalization. Could you maybe share an example of how what each of those might look like for a mother who's using your app?
Okay, so I'll speak on the culture. So just give an example. An example would be, say me as a mother. I just gave birth and I'm craving. There's this natural. There's this food that is prepared for mothers in certain areas, right? Especially when they just give birth, and it has been proven to be highly nutritious rather, contain all the nutrients and what is needed for the mother at that point in time to replenish her and all of that. So again, I'm in a land where I don't have all that support. Maybe my family have not been able to come over, or my mom or someone, and I'm alone, right? On the app, you can, based on your preference of what you want, you can request for it. And what we do is to, based on reviews that we have seen, like provide you with an array of service providers that will be able to provide that type of delicacy to you. So you can have them come over just so you can watch and see and make sure that what they are putting or using to make that dish that you really crave for is done with you, or you can have it delivered. So you have the option of having them come over to make that dish for you or deliver it to you. So you have that in the app by just a click of several buttons. So that brings you back into, I'm not missing my mom so much because my mom will probably be able to do this for me. Do you get what I mean? The second thing is Sorry, what's the second thing? What's the second word you asked me to speak more about?
So first of all, I appreciate that you shared more about the how you're integrating culture. The other word, which now comes to mind, is about how you are gamifying your app.
Okay, so that's a trade secret that we're doing. So what it is we have several games, and these games they're laced with CBT, that's cognitive behavioral therapies. And what it aims to do, the fundamental of it is to increase your dopamine level, because we realized, I mean, having research and spoken to several moms at the time where they are at the stage and is nearing towards postnatal depression, what happens is that they are usually cranky, is that they feel not enough, because you feel like you want to do a lot of things, but you're not able to do it, or you feel like you have not achieved, right? Some of the games would have that element of you having achieved something. And what we're doing is to using cognitive behavioral therapy to bring the mother back into the mindset of the fact that she is enough, back into the mindset of the fact that she can, because by winning or by taking several steps, you win, you get up in the gamification levels, like you win a jewel, and essentially removing you from what maybe is perceived to be an ash to be beauty, right? To take you from what you're perceiving to be can't do it too. I did this. And so because I did this, I'm able to do a lot of chores that are around me. And again, because we are mindful and building responsible parenting at several points when the app is being used, a pop-up will show on your screen to say, have you had enough water today? Or have you taken a nap? Do you know that taking 5, 10 minutes, I mean, all of those things to let you know that we're not just there because we want you to play on the app. We're there because we know that your time is precious and we want it to be valuable. So after you finish playing the game, or after you're getting that cultural inclusivity, you know that you can always come back to a friend that is in the app. That's what it's meant to do.
Great, that's fantastic. Something else which you also mentioned, which you alluded to when you were talking about gamification, is reminders, a sense of community, etc. So, could you tell me, could you share a little bit more about the way in which you are building community or connecting mothers together in your app?
Okay, so right now, like I mentioned, we had a webinar last week, and what we're doing is to have several of these webinars, essentially to promote awareness of what we're building, to have people come on board, to come and share their stories, which one thing that I missed out mentioning. One of the things that we're doing is to have people come to share their stories. And what this is meant to address is the relatability part of the journey, letting mothers know and realize that they are not alone in this journey of motherhood. They are not alone even afterwards, because I have seen and spoken to several people that have been in this phase for longer than what the ideal is, which is about 2 years. They have been in it for more. So again, having that relatability with women sharing their stories. Again, when I'm vulnerable with you, the tendency for you to be vulnerable with me is also there, because you know that because she has gone through it, she went through it by doing exercises, she went through it by maybe changing her diet, she went through it by several ways that I have seen that mothers have gone through it. I am able to relate with what speaks clearly to me and use part of what they have shared to help build in my own journey. And in my own journey, I can share my journey with someone else. Again, just look at it as you're dropping a story, is like dropping a stone in the river. And the ripple effect that it has is far reaching, because you never see where it leads or where it ends, right? But there's the impact of what that tiny stone that you dropped in the river has done to several lives. So adding that to it, that's people sharing their stories, promotes the relatability and the psychology that even she that did it, she went through it, and look at her doing fantastic well right now. I can and I will, just emphasizing that also that is part of what Joy will be providing in line with building the community. Again, stories beget stories, and at the end of the day, it's a change community altogether.
Well said. I totally agree that just the power of sharing a story can,
Yeah,
as you shared, create a ripple effect which has multidimensional impacts.
yes.
And that leads to something I was going to ask next, which is, can you tell us more about the impact that you are seeing with your app and the impacts that you would be expecting to see in many years in the lives of the mothers who are using your app, as well as their families more broadly and their community?
All right, thank you so much. So the power of AI right now is so uncapped. Like there are several things that we plan to do on the app. Like for instance, just imagine that you take a picture with your phone, and what it can do is to tell you what you can make as a meal. Just imagine that. Like I just take a picture of what I have in my fridge, and it tells me what I can build up, or it generates meal plans on the go for me that is tailored to suit me. Um,
Yes,
one
computer
thing
vision is so amazing like that.
amazing,
Yes.
amazing. So,
Mhm.
one thing that I have realized as well is in my research is that 80% of postnatal depression cases go untreated and unsupported. That's because someone probably somewhere just says, suck it up. Like you, I mean, you're not the first person, but no, what Joy is set to do, and it's a mission that would span beyond 5, 10 years, is that we want to be able to reduce untreated cases of postnatal depression. So we want fewer mothers who are in the game of going back to work to stop slipping through the cracks. Again, they would have these beautiful friend enjoyed to be able to provide that personalized support that they require. Again, like I said, for stories that can be shared, supposing you have a mother that shares her story on how she was able to get ready and get back to work even after she gave birth. Again, all of those stories would be there. So your no, we would read, the aim is to reduce the number of untreated cases from the 80% that it is right now to far lower than that. What another thing that we aim to do is to build stronger communities, like I said. So in fostering connections among mothers who share their experience, essentially to lift up, not to bring down, it would cause a rippling effect in what the communities would be, right? Everyone in that community seeking to help, to lift up each other is what we're fostering, what we aim that it will do. Another thing is, again, to provide support for fathers, for partners, because I realized I've not only spoken to mothers, I've spoken to countless mothers, I've also spoken to dads as well. And one of the things that I heard echoing with the dads that I spoke to is that they did not realize, they did not know how to support their wives, right? They did not understand why she was being cranky or why she was in that mood and all of that. They did not know the right words to say. So again, we are going to have a section that speaks to what dads can do to support their wives or their partners, right? We would have a section that speaks to that. Again, what that would do will be to improve family dynamics, creating healthier families, because the words that are being spoken at that crucial point in time, right, is what can build up or tear down, right? Again, that would also help when where you have multiple kids, for the children as well, right? Again, the dads will understand what they need to do in that regard. Again, is a systemic change that we're looking at here, right? In the long run of what we're doing, would be able to work with the government, with healthcare professionals to say, based on all of this, again, excuse me, with the consent of all the users that are on the platform, to advocate for better maternal mental care services. I have seen, based on research and interactions with mothers, to say, right, people, I mean, the government, maybe they don't understand what exact pain points are, by providing these data or what we are seeing in the horizon, it can help shape what the government can what's the word now, maliate to. So just bring something that will speak to what is needed at the time that is needed, not something that is generic, but something that is specific to what and addressing the pain points of postnatal depression, and also furthering the growth in advancement of maternal mental health. So it's multidimensional in what the app hopes to bring for mothers, again, for businesses, because you have mothers going back to work, and also for government. So it's addressing all of these intersections.
Wow, well said. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate that. So from what you shared, of course, there is it's a health education. One can think about it from a health education standpoint, it
Yes.
sounds like, but also, of course, as you shared, there's potential for integration with electronic health records, with
Yes.
workplaces as a
Yes.
driver of policy, but also, of course, providing data which addresses many places where there's a need for data, whether that's women's health in general, mental health in general, or the intersection of women's health and mental health, and like maternal mental health specifically. So yeah, I appreciate hearing, and also as to a point that you made as well, bringing in the family and father specifically into understanding how to support healthcare is also really important. So I appreciate as you shared the word multidimensional. It definitely sounds like what you're doing and is working towards a vision of impact that and an impact that really touches many different ways, both at a personal level and also all the way up to a more macroscopic systemic level.
Yeah,
It sounds like
absolutely.
you've been on such an amazing journey and you're only getting started.
Mhm.
Um, and that makes me wonder, have there been any major lessons that you've learned or things that you have experienced up to this point that you wish you had known before you had started?
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
sure there's a lot, but what are some things that come to mind?
Yeah. So, one thing that I have learned is that perfection isn't the goal, progress is. So, when I first started, I wanted every detail to be flawless. Like I mean, I'm still in the phase of dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's. But over time, I have realized that feedback from real users, again, in my interaction and sharing in the webinars where we have question and answer, and you see people asking real questions, like, it has proven to be invaluable. And often this has led me to see several perspectives that I wasn't even considering, several innovations that I did not anticipate. So if I could actually go back, I'll tell myself to embrace these imperfections, these failures or seemingly step backs, right? And trust that going iteratively. I mean, one of the slogans that I take that I want to share is that when the facts change, I change my mind and I change it selectively, right? And focus on solving the problem, right? And in the journey to being perfect, in the journey to building what I'm building. Again, momentum that I've seen builds confidence and ultimately results and ultimately impact. And that's one thing that I am learning, because they are facing in everything. So that's what it is. Perfection is not the goal. Progress is, because it ultimately builds confidence, resilience, results, and impact.
Thanks for sharing. How can people find you and how can they support your work?
Okay, thank you very much. So right now we have a page on our website that you can join the waiting list. Is www.joy, so joy-ed.co.uk, and on all our social media pages, which is LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, you'll see us as Joyed app, the Joyed, Joyed app on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. And I mean, you can always follow me, follow Abikoye, Tolulope Abikoye on LinkedIn, and you'd see all the other pages there as well. And I'll be glad if anyone can share their feedback. If you want to share your story, if you want to partner with us, we're open to that collaboration because we'd forever be in a growth phase, but we're open to collaboration, open to feedback, and having anyone contact us. Thank you.
Fantastic. So now it's time for our signature question. So please fill in the blank. I amplify.
I amplify hope, where through joy, I want my network or whoever it is that comes in contact with it to remember that they are not alone, to inspire action, to foster resilience that they can do it, and to create a space where every mother, maybe in the future, more fathers, feel empowered, supported, and celebrated to thrive. Thank you.
And thank you, Tolu, for sharing a lot about you as well as your journey with Joyd app and Connecting Hands. It's really cool to hear about the innovative work you're doing and the impact that that's driving. And I just want to celebrate the fact that as I've been hearing you share, and also I know we've also connected prior to this as well. I want to just celebrate the fact that you talked about this earlier, but I mean, from your perspective as a mom, from your perspective as a professional, it's amazing that you bring the highest levels of technical expertise with your passion and also with your creativity to solve such a problem. It's really amazing to see the intention that you bring and the wisdom that you bring and how you're really doing that in a way that is creative into a word that you shared earlier, multidimensional. So I celebrate that you're bringing that perspective and that vision to solving what is a really powerful, impactful problem, which a lot of people are addressing in different ways, but you're doing it in a way that's really authentically yours. And I celebrate you for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this honor, this privilege, to come here and let people hear the story of what we're building, what the mission is. To me, I see it like a mission. I see it like I said, a rippling effect. You never know how far it will go. And the multi-dimensionality of it is beyond what I can see right now. I'm excited that it's set to be global. It's set to impact life and achieve results. That's the goal. So I'm really excited about it.
Likewise, and I'm sure many of our audience members will also be very excited about it. But for now, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day and best wishes for the near and far future.
Thank you so much, Naren. I also wish you the very good rest of the day and all the best. This is really good, what you're doing, amplifying founders that are driving innovation and impact. Again, the rippling effect of this is far-reaching. So well done. I equally appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tolu. Bye for now.
All right. Bye.
To our listeners, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Founders Amplified. I hope you're feeling as inspired as I am. If you'd like to learn more about our guest and support them, check out the show notes for their details. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a rating, share it with someone you know, and follow us for more inspiring episodes like this one. If you're a founder who is driving innovation and impact in any industry or sector anywhere in the world and would like to be a guest, we'd love to hear from you. Check out the show notes for more information. And finally, remember that you, yes, you, have the power to amplify the voices around you. Whether you're a colleague, family member, friend, funder, mentor, or just another fellow human, your support matters. So I invite you to celebrate and uplift the underrepresented innovators in your life who are driving innovation and impact. Let's create a better future for everyone, together. Until next time, stay curious, stay bold, and keep amplifying.